Hi, Roger. We're just getting the meeting
All right.
set up. I'll join in a second.
Oh, I got sorry.
Got one in.
Okay, there we go. No other echoing. All right, 7 o'clock, go ahead.
All right, so welcome everyone to the Committee of Adjustment meeting for February 11th, 2025. We'll start off with item number 1, declaration of any pecuniary interests. Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 2, the agenda.
Oh, sorry about these all out of order now. There we go. Sorry. It is moved by Campbell Anderson and seconded by Jonathan Sandiford. Be it resolved that the agenda for the West Nipissing Committee of Adjustment meeting for February 11th, 2025 be adopted as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Item number 3, adoption of the minutes.
It is moved by Jonathan Sandiford and seconded by Campbell Anderson. Be it resolved that the minutes for the Committee of Adjustment meeting held on January 14th, 2025 be adopted as presented.
Questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. Item number 3, agency comments. I don't think we need anything for that right now. Everybody went through it. There's no concerns whatsoever. Okay, we're going to move on to item number 5, application for consent and minor variance. 5.1, consent application. Number 1.
All right. It is moved by Campbell Anderson and seconded by Jonathan Sandiford. Be it resolved that the consent application made by Laurent and Linda Renault for the creation of a new lot at 128 Elect Street, Municipality of West Nipissing, is approved on the following conditions: that a reference plan be prepared and deposited in the Land Registry Office, and a copy of the new survey be filed with the municipality; confirmation that all property taxes are up to date; that all conditions be met on or before February 12th, 2027, being 2 years from the date of giving notice of the consent; that a transfer be submitted to the Secretary Treasurer for the issuance of a certificate of consent; and that in the event that any portion of the municipally maintained and traveled road be located on either the severed or the retained lands, that 10 meters from the center line of the maintained and traveled roads, including the retained lands, shall be surveyed at the owner's cost and transferred to the municipality of a condition of the within severance. So through you, Mr. Chair, I'm just going to get my screen sharing going here. This is an application to sever the existing lot. This is a residential 2 zone, so both the retained and the severed do meet the minimum lot size and frontage.
Sounds good. Any questions? Roger, I'm not sure, I can't see you, so.
Nope, I'm good.
Question,
Yes, Madam Mayor.
the existing lot, does it front onto Matthew or onto Alex? Like the street address is, Alex?
Yes,
Okay. And so the new lot will be on Matthew and the other one will retain the frontage on Alex, is that correct?
so through you, Mr. Chair, the lot frontage is determined by which of the street is the smaller.
Okay.
So for what's proposed here, both of the lots will actually technically front on Matthew. Yeah.
Okay, so will the address have to be changed on that?
The address will, for the retained, will likely stay the same, just for
Okay.
not messing anything up. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's my only question. It's fine. Work on a corner lot there. Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions?
Are we allowed?
Sorry, yes, so I should have said it. Yes, if you have any comments or questions, please make sure, raise your hands, state your name and your address loudly, and yes, you're allowed.
Okay. My name is Robert Clucci, and I live on 120 Alex, basically neighbor to this lot. I just have a couple of questions in regard the zoning. Right now it's zone R2. I think it's a rural R2. And when you look at the bylaw for zone 2, it says that on R2 you're allowed to build a single dwelling or a duplex. So the lot size that were severed many years ago were severed as estate lots, and they were sized because they were unserviced. There's no sewage system on these lots. And this applicant, is he going to be allowed to build a duplex on the smaller lot?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. For the R2 zone, the minimum lot size for partially serviced is 2,000 square meters, and the frontage is 30 meters, both of which it does meet. So the R2 does permit a semi-detached and a duplex, so we would be able to build a duplex on each, yes.
Oh, is that right? And how about the sewage system? Is he going to be allowed to put this duplex sewage system on a smaller lot like that?
Yes,
Because there's some codes that you have to, clearances, distances, and maybe will be permitted, or?
Yes, so as part of the application, sorry, through the chair, as part of the application, the applicant did submit a plan which showed where, just a rough idea of where the house would be and an area where the septic system would be, to confirm that there was sufficient area to place both on the.
Okay, so it's 2,000 meters for sewage system?
That's
Minimum?
the minimum lot size for a partially serviced lot, yes, and it does meet
I
that.
was under the impression it was 4,000 meters. But,
That would be if it was totally privately serviced.
Totally in service?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Is there there's a great number of lots like that around that corner. Do you think there will be a possibility there will be others that will divide their lot in two and sell them like that? Or?
I think that's hard to say, right? I mean, that'll be at the owner's discretion to make the applications or not. Right now, all we're gonna do is deal with the application that's before us, and to add to what Ms. Willick was saying, I'm sure that when the time comes for the individuals to put the source or the septic service in, there's very fine guidelines that he'll need to follow. And if he doesn't, then it won't move forward. But as long as he meets all the proper guidelines from the ministry, then he'll be able to do so.
I think it's controlled by Mattawa Conservation Authority.
So, anything else?
No, that's it. No, thank you.
You're welcome. Miss.
Sorry, the minimum lot dimensions on that, like there's a minimum frontage?
Yes,
And what is that again? I'm sorry.
that's okay. The minimum lot frontage is 30 meters and they're proposed to be 44-ish.
Okay. So given that, when you look at the plans, I would assume that the only lots that would be able to be severed without having a variance on the frontage would be those that sit on a corner. So any of the lots that are not on a corner, they're able to do this because they do have the corner lot, so they're able to meet the frontages. If you were looking at any of the lots that were in between the intersections, if you tried to split them like that, you wouldn't meet the lot frontages. So the only lots in this area where it's partially serviced that would meet those requirements would be the corner lots. Is that correct through you, Mr. Chair?
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, so the neighbor lot, sorry, I have another one. That was lot number 17, but the one closer to Nipissing Street, that one too could be divided in two.
So are you referring to the one behind that one? Like if you bring back
More to
your,
the east, more to the east. There's two lots on Matthew Street. There was number 17.
Okay.
And there's another one in front of, I think it's house 525.
Okay.
That one could be divided too.
Sorry, it's a bit blurry.
I have a question in regards to that. Then the area marked as block 24, which looks like it would be a continuation of Matthew Street to connect Matthew to Nipissing. Is that currently, is that meant to be a road allowance to do the connection? Or is that not part of the subdivision plan?
I believe that is the intent, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, and the same note.
who did?
Don.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Don.
That block 24 is Matthew Street. Matthew Street is paved from Nipissing in to Alex. So that was from the original subdivision that was on Nipissing Street.
Okay,
And yes, your corner lot would be able to be severed exactly the same thing as the other one.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? So is everybody in favor of this moving forward? Carried. Item number 2.
All right, it is moved by Jonathan Sandiford and seconded by Campbell Anderson. Be it resolved that the consent application made by Gerald and Roland Baronet for a lot addition at 943 Levac Road, municipality of West Nipissing, is approved on the following conditions. That a reference plan be prepared and deposited in the land registry office and a copy of the new survey be filed with the municipality. Confirmation that all property taxes are paid up to date. That all conditions be met on or before February 12th, 2027, being 2 years from the date of giving notice of the consent. That the transfer be submitted to the Secretary Treasurer for the issuance of a certificate of consent in the event that any portion of municipally maintained and traveled road be located on either the severed or retained lands, that 10 meters from the center line of the maintained and traveled roadway shall be surveyed at the owner's cost and transferred to the municipality, and that a PIN consolidation be registered in the land registry office in order to consolidate the lot addition lands with the lands to which they are being added. So through you, Mr. Chair, this is an application for a lot addition, as I said. The applicant is proposing to, sorry, let me just get us a visual here if I can. Maybe not. The proposal, which is in your agenda package, sorry, that wasn't working. They're looking to add a portion of the property to the side. The property which is benefiting from this lot addition was recently purchased. They're just looking to add a bit more to it for a better building envelope. But both the severed and the lot addition parcel will meet the minimum frontages, requirements, setbacks, everything.
Any questions? Whatever.
is that area fully serviced? Through you, Mr. Chair?
I believe that is fully serviced, I think, yes.
Partially? No?
I believe it's,
I think it's fully
I think
serviced.
that part's fully
Fully
serviced.
serviced.
If there's any
It's fully serviced. I'm pretty sure because he's got 2, 3, he's got 4.
He's looking to do a townhouse
Yeah.
town, you know, proposal on the balance of.
Yeah, so I believe it's fully serviced.
Right.
I
It
believe
is.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
And
Yeah, yes, Don. I heard you,
Sorry, I still have
Madam
a
Mayor.
question. When it states in the summary report that the current zoning is R4, is that on both the retained, the severed, and a lot, like all of them are zoned R4 currently?
I believe currently that the lots that are existing that are retained are R4, and that the ones to the side of it are a residential zone, a lower.
Okay, and so the new lot as created, which will have close to 50-foot frontage, what will be the zoning on the new lot? That includes the part 3 plus the lands to be added. Like, what's the proposed zoning on that?
It'll be the zoning that's existing on the lot that's being added to. Don't know if I have that on file. My apologies. Don, do you have that?
Multi-residential.
R2.
Thank you.
R2, so it,
Yeah,
okay,
so they could do,
Okay.
yeah.
thank you.
Roger, Mr. Guanyo?
My question with that property, can you legally put an entrance to that added lot if it's on the Ontario natural gas easement?
Through Mr. Chair, no, they would not be able to.
No. Okay, so all the entrances would have to be beyond the easement.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Don?
Not sure about the answer to that one, Sam, because there are entrances, driveways that go over it. You have to have permission from the gas company. You have to go in and physically ask for a driveway to go over. They may allow it. I have some examples of that if you want to see them.
Thank you.
Because currently that area, there's no driveways going over it, right? Okay.
Absolutely, right.
Any other questions?
Nope.
All right, so is everyone in favor of this moving forward? Harry?
All right. It is moved by Campbell Anderson and seconded by Jonathan Sandiford. Be it resolved that consent application made by Roland Marlowe for the creation of a new lot at 760 Nipissing Street is approved on the following conditions. That a reference plan be prepared and deposited in the land registry office and a copy of the new survey be filed with the municipality. Confirmation that all property taxes are up to date. That all conditions be met on or before February 12th, 2027, being 2 years from the date of giving notice of the consent. That a transfer be submitted to the Secretary Treasurer for the issuance of a certificate of consent. And the any portion of the municipally maintained and traveled road be located on either the severed or retained lands at 10 meters from center line of the maintained and traveled roadway, including the retained land, shall be surveyed and transferred to the municipality. Bless you. And that the municipal clerk shall, pursuant to section 65(1) of the Drainage Act, instruct the municipal engineer to apportion the assessment for the drain maintenance among the parts into which the land is divided. So through Mr. Chair, this application is to create one lot. See if I can share PowerPoint instead, since the other one wasn't working. Both lots proposed are of sufficient size, the retained and the severed are of a sufficient size for the rural zone. So the retained is 5.83 hectares and the severed is 14.9 hectares.
Any questions? Sorry.
Nope.
So what they're asking for, my apologies, is that they want a lot off Nipissing? Is that what it is?
Off of Marlowe.
Off Marlowe?
Yes.
Okay, because it says 76 Nipissing Street.
Yeah, so the address currently has frontage onto, it's a corner lot, so it
Yeah.
has frontage on Nipissing and Marlowe.
Okay.
And then the proposed lot will have,
Is the
Frontage
4
onto
point,
Marlowe.
so the proposed portion, oops, I got it wrong. I did the same thing. Is the 14.9 hectare.
that is correct, yes.
And that's the portion that's being severed, because right now it's the 5.83 and a 14.9.
Yes, currently it is like an L-shaped lot, and they're just kind of following that line down straight.
Okay. Any other questions? Yeah.
Just on the handwritten sketch here, there's a few lots to the right, say removed from 85, removed from 97. Is this applicant at or near the limit for severances?
Not at this time. No, the new policies will be coming into effect, which will put limits onto that with the new OP though.
I thought there was already a limit, 3 or something
Yeah,
like that.
there's a limit of 3.
There is, I don't know if we count severances that are that old towards.
Those would have been both prior to amalgamation, so they would have been done under Springer Township, I would imagine, at that time. So I don't know that that would be, because amalgamation was 1999.
Different owner.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Concerns? No? Everybody in favor of moving forward? Carried.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hollow.
So,
And through you, Mr. Chair, if I may, the next consent application also has a concurrent minor variance application. If I may read the resolutions for both at the same time. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, it is moved by Jonathan Sandiford and seconded by Campbell Anderson that the consent application made by Michelle and Carol Levac for the creation of a new lot at Vachon Road is approved on the following conditions. That a reference plan be prepared and deposited in the land registry office and a copy of the new survey be filed with the municipality. Confirmation that all property taxes are paid up to date. That all conditions be met on or before February 12th, 2027, being 2 years from the date of giving notice of the consent. That a transfer of land be submitted to the Secretary Treasurer for the issuance of a certificate of consent. In the event that any portion of municipally maintained and traveled roadway be located on either the severed or retained lands, that 10 meters from center line of the maintained and traveled roadway, including the retained lands, shall be surveyed and transferred to the municipality. The municipal clerk shall, pursuant to section 6.1 of the Drainage Act, instruct the municipal engineer to apportion the assessment for the drainage maintenance among the parts into which the lands are being divided, and that confirmation be provided that the proposed lot size is sufficient area to accommodate a septic system. So that is the resolution on the floor for the consent application. And then the concurrent minor variance application is moved by Campbell Anderson and seconded by Jonathan Sandiford. It is the decision of the Committee of Adjustment to approve the variance application made to reduce the minimum lot area from 1 hectare to 0.2 hectares for the following reason. It meets the general intent and purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw. The variance is considered desirable for the appropriate development of the property, and it is the opinion of the committee that the variance is minor in nature. And this application is approved on the condition that the consent also get approved. Through you, Mr. Chair, this application is to create a new residential lot. Let me just get us sharing here again. Sorry for jumping back and forth. They're looking to create a new residential lot, which you can see here. With the 0.62 hectares. It is right adjacent to a number of other lots which were previously created. The reason for the reduction in lot area is because you can see here that there is a pit kind of on the property back behind this one. So we're looking to reduce it so that we're not kind of encroaching into that pit territory.
Any questions? Comments? Madam Mayor?
So I'm going to assume from the look of the plan that's been provided that several severances have been done in the past. Were those applications from the current applicants?
No, they were not. This was before the current property owner purchased it.
But they were also done by registered plan of subdivision.
Okay.
So these are lots rather than parts. The only severances that have been done recently have been lot additions, like immediately to the south of the severed lands. You can see the portion at the back which was added onto lot 2, which typically don't count as a severance out of the lot because we're We're not creating a new lot, we're just making an existing larger.
Yes, Cameron?
With respect to the minor variance, why not move our lines north and expand the lot that way?
Because it's our client's intention that that would form the best location for a building lot for themselves in the future. And the other reason is, for the 0.6 hectares, we wanted to align it with the back of the lots that were abutting it and not extend further in. Also, as Sam had said, so we didn't encroach back closer into the pit area, but also that we still left enough frontage for that final portion along Vashon Road to also be open for development in the future.
Any other comments? Concerns? All righty. Is everybody in favor? Carrie?
Just to confirm,
Oh, for both?
for both, can we get a vote for the consent and then a separate one for the minor variance?
So for the consent.
Both
everybody in
hands,
favor,
everyone's good?
and for the minor variance.
Thank you.
So under 5.2 minor variance, number 2.
Alrighty. It is moved by Jonathan Sandiford and seconded by Campbell Anderson. It is the decision of the Committee of Adjustment to approve variance application made by Kenneth Nichols to increase the maximum gross floor area of a sleeping cabin from 50 square meters to 55.74 square meters for the following reasons. It meets the general intent and purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw. The variance is considered desirable for the appropriate development of the property, and in the opinion of the committee, the variance is minor in nature. And this application is approved on the following condition: that no cooking facilities be installed in the sleeping cabin. 3, Mr. Chair, it is a regulation in the zoning bylaw that no cooking facilities be installed in a sleeping cabin. Just putting that on there is for just an added recognizing of that requirement. This application is on Plant Road. I don't know if you want me to talk about it more, so I'll leave it with that.
Any questions?
Do we know, like, why the variance is required? Like, why they can't just build a bunkie that meets the requirements?
I believe the request is coming in because they had the plans prepared first. And I believe they might be working with like a prefabricated structure as well.
Okay, and will there be toilet or other water? Will it be plumbed?
It will, yes. So there is a washroom in it and there is another sink in it as well.
In the addition that they're building?
In this bunkie
Bunkie.
sleep cabin, yes.
Okay, and then is there currently any secondary dwelling units within the property?
There are not. This property is currently in the process of finalizing a severance. So they're looking to do, it's currently vacant land. So they're looking to construct the bunkie and the house around the same time.
So this is vacant, so that they're building it all together.
Yes, yeah, they're trying to do.
These
all
are
the
not
common-
existing structures that we're seeing on this, on the drawing that's here.
No, this is their proposed site plan. Sorry, I should clarify that.
Question is the bunkie, is the arrow facing the wrong direction so that the arrow opposite way? They're looking to go from small to larger, right?
Yes.
Any questions?
This is not a waterfront property?
No, this is on Plot Road.
Questions? Roger, can't see you.
Yeah, I do have one. I see on the plan that at the star it says well is existing. So I'm imagining that the well, I'm sorry. Okay, so the well is fine. I'm sorry, I was thinking of a septic. I was gonna say if you're adding a toilet, I hope the septic was made to size. But it's all right.
But if they are gonna have a second bathroom, you said in the bunkie, they'll have to meet whatever septic to have two bathrooms, right?
Yes, that is correct, yeah.
Any other questions? Concerns? Okay. Is everybody fine with it to move forward? Show of hands. Thank you. Carrie.
Okay. It's moved by Camilla Anderson and seconded by Jonathan Sanford. It is a decision of the Committee of Adjustment to approve the minor variance application made by Michelle and Natalie Paquette to increase the maximum reduction from a main wall from 3 meters to 5.5 meters to construct a covered deck for the following reasons. It meets the general intent and purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw. The variance is considered desirable for the appropriate development of the property, and in the opinion of the committee, the variance is minor in nature. So through you, Mr. Chair, the request here is to increase the permitted projection of a covered patio. So currently our zoning bylaw permits, there we go. The zoning bylaw permits a covered porch patio to extend 3 meters from the main wall into a required yard. Because of where the hydro lines go on this property, you can see aerial service line right about here on the line. Because of the setback requirements for that, they have had to move the house a bit closer to the water. The main structure that's actually enclosed actually does meet the setback requirements of the 18 meters. It's just this covered patio that doesn't.
Any questions? In that covered patio, do we know what the intent is? Are they going to have any cooking areas, any water, any sinks, anything to that effect? Do we know?
I can't confirm that. If you
Okay.
were concerned about that, I know that it's not on this resolution, but on the agenda, it was intended that there be a condition that that not be enclosed in the future,
Okay.
because then it wouldn't meet under these current regulations, which we're varying for it. If you have a concern about that sort of thing, we can always add that as a condition to the approval as well.
Okay.
I believe the consultant is joined by Zoom as well. I don't know if she would have. Mackenzie, do you know kind of what the intent is for this part?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
So I have the building plans in front of me. I'm just looking at them, but I believe the intent is to have this as like a gazebo-like structure, so it's not going to be enclosed. There will be a roof over it, hence the need for the minor variance, but I don't believe that there's going to be any cooking facilities or other type of plumbing fixtures. But I don't think that there's any harm in adding that condition in if that's what the committee prefers to do.
Okay.
So if it were to be screened in, where there were posts and half walls and screens, would that be considered enclosed in the world of zoning and building?
So it can be screened in. Once they put walls up, then it would be considered enclosed. And then they'd have to come back through for another variance to permit that.
So by walls, what's the height? What's the definition?
So you could have a 4-foot wall with screen above it.
Exactly, yeah.
And it technically makes it an outdoor room, which
Yeah.
really is a way around it's a way around the zoning bylaw. If it's a roof over a deck, it's one thing, but if you start adding half walls, then you can make little frames that have plastic in it to make it a kind of half room in the fall and the wind, it's a bit of a snowfall issue. And if we're protecting the intent of the zoning bylaw, which is to have a minimum distance between the water and the structures, it's a bit of a slippery slope.
Yes, the building plans do show no half walls, no screen, no anything at this time. If that's a concern, again, we can reword conditions that only be screened in, no walls, or not even screened in. We can be flexible on that. That's a concern.
No, I have no issues, sorry. I have no issues with the screening portion. I mean, I'm sure the purpose of having the gazebo is for the screens, for the bugs, especially, from May to December, because we always have bugs. So I totally understand. I just want to make, I want to make sure, because you can have, a knee wall 2 feet high and put screen, and it's not something that you would change into a bedroom in the winter. But like Madam Mayor said, if you're looking at 4 feet and then you add, some sort of paneling or whatever onto the screen, then you're enclosing it throughout the winter. But I have no concerns whatsoever with screening.
So is it the setback that's the concern here, or is it the size of the, because the wording's a little, I'm sorry, I should put that in. We didn't acknowledge that. Apologies. Like, is the concern the actual size of the roof that's going over the deck, or is it the setback from the water's edge?
So through you, Mr. Chair, table 4.1 in our zoning bylaw permits that you can have certain structures encroach into a setback. And that table says that open roof, so unenclosed porches are permitted to project into the front yard, but a maximum of 3 meters. So they'd be okay if they were at the 18-meter line to go in to 15, but because they're going more than the 3 meters from that wall, that's what the variance is for.
From the image there, is this structure built yet? Is the house built?
It is not. So through you, Mr. Chair, the application, let me just share it quickly here with everyone so we can see what we're talking about. You can kind of see on the sketch that there's an underlying building that's a thinner line with the kind of dashes around it. That is the existing that is being replaced.
Being replaced or being added to?
They are demolishing and rebuilding, is my understanding.
Yeah, I see, to be removed.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the frame deck that is indicated, sorry, the drawing's a little confusing. The frame
Yes.
deck, that's the 2 frame decks that are side by side, those are also part of the demolition?
Yes.
Okay. So it looks to me if they did the deck the same size as kind of what's there width, then they wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, is there not an option to actually meet the, do decks need to meet the setbacks?
Decks are allowed to project 6 meters,
Okay.
where if it's a covered patio porch, it can only project the 3 meters.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? So for myself, I would just like to see something added that, that it remains screened in. I don't have a concern about the whatever 2 meters difference or whatnot. But as long as it remains a screened in porch or patio, I have no concerns. Anyone else? Madam Mayor?
Is there a reason why they're not just pushing the whole bill, if they're just demolishing and building new, not adding on? Is there a reason why they're not going further back in the lot, like something with the geography that's preventing them from just moving the entire proposed structure
I think
back?
it's the aerial line.
Yes, so through you, Mr. Chair, there is an aerial service line, like an overhead hydro line, running kind of through a good chunk of the property. And there is a minimum 5-meter setback from that, which is why they've kind of had to shift closer to the water.
Any other comments or concerns? Roger, Mr. Guanyo?
I think what the mayor is trying to say here is if they want to go that size to eliminate any screened portion around the deck and leave it just covered and totally open. Am I correct?
Just, I like people to do their best to color within the lines, but
And if I may, this is part of the elevation for their plans that they have now. And there's no indication of any half wall, any screening, anything.
Okay. So is everybody okay with the information provided with the addition that it will be a screened-in porch and no additional walls, or I'm not sure how you're gonna write that down, but
Are we accepting if it just says that the porch not be enclosed? Is that sufficient, or do we really want to set more parameters on that?
not being closed. However, we're okay with the screening portion. Well, or
Minus the half wall.
minus that, yeah, and that's what I mean. The reason I say that, and I mean, if right now with the design that I saw, I don't think they're planning on enclosing it, then, so, and if there's no mention of it, then let's leave it at that.
Okay.
If that's what their intent is and they're not enclosing it with screening, then so be it.
Perfect.
okay, thank you.
All good? So is everybody in favor with moving forward? Carrie?
Thank you.
Okay. It is moved by Jonathan Sandiford, seconded by Campbell Anderson. It is the decision of the Committee of Adjustment to approve the variance application made by Claude Trottier and Susan Rainville to reduce the side yard setback for a boathouse from 5 meters to 1.21 meters for the following reasons. It meets the general intent and purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw. The variance is considered desirable for the appropriate development of the property, and in the opinion of the committee, the variance is minor in nature. This application is approved subject to the following conditions: that this reduction in side yard setback apply only to the existing boathouse. So through you, Mr. Chair, the applicant is proposing to do an addition onto an existing boathouse. Our zoning bylaw does have provisions where an existing legal non-conforming building can be added onto, provided it's not more than 25% of the floor area of the existing. The applicant is looking to go larger than that so that they can keep the width of it, not have to remove the existing and can just add on. But because we're looking at going beyond that 25%, they do need to legalize the setback.
So they're already,
Yeah, go ahead.
they're already encroaching on the setback, but it's legal non-conforming from back whenever. And now they just need to authorize some class fees to put the addition.
Essentially, yes, yeah.
Any other questions?
I believe Roger has his hand up.
Roger?
Now, is the reason for the application, it's because they're adding 8 feet to the boathouse? Is that the reason for it?
That is correct, yes. If they were only adding 25% of what the existing floor area was, they wouldn't need a variance at all, because that's provided for in our zoning bylaw. It's because they're exceeding that, and I believe it's because they bought a boat that doesn't fit. Yeah.
I have no issues with that because they're going on to the main property and not towards the neighbors or the lake, so.
Yes, and just to confirm with that condition on it, for it applying only to the existing boathouse, if they were to completely demolish this boathouse and look to build new, they would have to comply with the current regulations now.
Correct.
Any comments or concerns? Madam Mayor?
I'll just say the fact that the addition is actually much closer to what the setback should be, it's no problem, but my advice to the owners for the future is measure
boats.
twice, not once. But yeah, no, that I don't have an issue with that.
Any other comments? So everybody in favor? Carried.
Alrighty. And it is moved by Campbell Anderson and seconded by Jonathan Sandiford. Be it resolved that the West Nipissing Committee of Adjustment meeting be adjourned to March 11th, 2025.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you, everyone. Have yourself a great evening.
Night.
Take care, guys.
Okay, good night.